Hey you guys, welcome to the stream. If you haven't heard that saying before, hey you guys, then you've obviously not watched enough of the videos that are pertaining to FileMaker, basically, because a very, very good friend of mine says that quite a lot actually on his streams or his videos that he does. So here we are today. What we're going to do today is we're dealing mainly with questions and answers. We're doing some summary stuff. We're just going to kind of walk through this really quick in case there was something that you missed. I've got some responses and some emails, some messages of people telling me that they missed a script or they missed how something is working and why is it not working for them and what the deal is behind all of that. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is let's start with our database, if you will. Let's just start there. So there's a lot of things that happen in and out of what we're doing. So one of the things we're going to do is we're on the menu table, and I'm going to give you just a second to write these down as you see them. You should have them all. But we've got the date, the security box, quantity box, invoice lock, product code, error box, username, the invoice lock 2, the invoice lock 3. There's gonna be some repetition here. You guys are gonna be like, what was Tim thinking? Don't worry, it'll all make sense. Joe Osborne, how the heck are you? It's so good to see you, Joe Osborne. Here with me on my FileMaker series. So you have invoice lock 2, invoice lock 3, payroll date, pay date, username 2, username 3, security box 2, security box 3, quantity box 2, quantity box 3. And then we've got product code 2, product code 3. Because what we did basically was we just kind of like, we grabbed a bunch of this stuff and like this username thing, we could easily just take and put it up here. Let's see, we're going to take it, put it up there, username 2, username 3. So we can move these around, which is kind of cool. And we have product codes. We can do product code 2 and product code 3 next to that. So we kind of know where they all are, right? So they're all together, but you don't have to. It's not a big deal where they are in the system as long as you actually have them. And then, so we have the quantity box, and as you guys can see, we've got like the invoice lock here. Well, there's several invoice locks. So you've got invoice lock. Let's move this down just a little bit. We've got invoice lock 2, invoice lock 3. So we have, because our system has three registers on it, that's why we have invoice lock 1, invoice lock 2, invoice lock 3. And that's why we have product code 1, product code 2, product code 3. And you don't have to name them. I think it's easier to just name them product code 1, product code 2, product code 3. So that when you're putting them in as a file name, all you have to do is just change that last numeral to, from 1 to 2 to 3, and it helps you realize where you are when you're scripting things. So what we're doing now is some of the things that we added was we have security box 2, security box 3. Like I said, the new quantity boxes, quantity box 2, quantity box 3. And then we have a brand new one, which is called Invoice Menu. Invoice Menu 1, Invoice Menu 2, Invoice Menu 3. Now what these are for, actually, is on our entry page. That's where I put these, because what was happening with my scripts, what was happening with the system was, it was really weird because when I would go to one of my registers, and then I would go into the little sub register part that we built or designed, it would change that number and then it would erase the number, and then half the time I was losing these numbers. I was going, why are these numbers disappearing? What was going on? I especially had that with number 3. So we're here to fix that, and that's one of the big issues of today, is to be able to fix that, those particular things. So now you can see what we now have in the menu field and all of those things that we have that are in the menu field. And the next one that I want to do is I want to go into the user database. And the user database is pretty simple. You have passwords. Remember, it's a singular file, so it's not really creating records. It is keeping records, though. So passwords, first name, last name, active, destination, notes, past, notes, to, data link, access, preset or present, hourly wage, last record, current number, and user pass. So you want to make sure you can halt, you can pause the script or pause the video and write all of these down, because you need to have all of them. And what else did we want to do? We wanted to do the register and the monitor. So let's go into our monitor really quick. Our monitor is pretty simple: date, time, invoice number, cash sales, credit sales, tax collected, total sales. And you can see what they say. There's calculation. This is a summary field, a summary field, a summary field, a summary field. Just a number. The record ID I ended at the very end, and I did that for a purpose. And the purpose was so that we could fix maybe some issues that might be happening in some of the scripts. But we're going to go through that really super fast. All we're going to do today is just a tour, just a quick like walkthrough. What do we have? Why is it working? Why is it not working? And what can we do to better the system? What can we do to make it actually a little bit better? And in our admin section, as you can tell, admin, there's nothing in there. It's date and security link, and that's it. Same with the back office. The back office is date and security window. That's it. But I wrote them differently, so that I should have wrote like security window or security pass BO for back office, security pass AD for admin, whatever, so that we could actually get those and put those all in the same. They would be in different tables, but we would understand when we're writing script why those fields are there and where those fields are actually going to. So the only relationships that we currently have are between our registers and, of course, our time card or timekeeping system. So time cards and time records are actually linked together with an ID and an IDFK. If you want to see the time cards, that's fine. I can show you some time cards pretty simple and pretty quick, and how to get to those time cards. But for the most part, the fields for the time cards, so you have time cards, there's time stop, time start, calculation. This is a case file, so it's what this case file is it says case and then open bracket, not then time stop. So if what that's saying is, if there's nothing in time stop in our time stop thingy, then we're going to return a value of nothing blank, right? But then if there is nothing or not anything in the time start, we're going to return a value of nothing, so 0, nothing. Otherwise, and that's what this last bracket is for, otherwise time stop minus time start, so that we can actually get, and as you can see, this is the time elapsed. So this is the total amount of time that has elapsed from the time the person has logged in to the time they check out every day. So this will keep track of every minute that they're actually there. And that's the case that I actually wrote for that. Everything else is pretty simple. Gross pay would be unstored hourly pay times the total time that is available. Because the time elapsed, we actually do have a summary field, and that summary field is a calculation, or it's not calculation, but it is a total of all of the time elapsed. So if you got 7 hours and 15 minutes and 7 hours and 15 minutes and 7 hours and 15 minutes, you basically have 21 hours and 45 minutes of time. So see what I mean? It's adding all those things together, so they're all there. And that's all that is. And we will go to time records after that. Time records is pretty simple. It's also very small. We basically have that ID field that we talked about. The calculation username, so that's the first name, and I'll show you how that is. it is a calculation. And what it says is the current table time records. It is the first name, ampersand or and then a space. So what I did was I used the parentheses, and then I just put a space in between them, and then and the last name, so that it would create a full name. So you'd have the first name and the last name, and they both be in the same spot. Just like that. Simple, easy, painless, right? You guys have all done that. Records number is an auto enter serial number, and I believe I started it with like an 8, and it's now on 8 bazillion and 8. And then the current date. If there's anything else you guys want to see, so we do have, like you can see, we have inventory sales, inventory incoming. The inventory incoming, that's just it's a pretty simple field, and what it is it's a separate unit. So if we have inventory that is coming in, what we can do is we can just enter a barcode, and I want to show you guys that. So we will go through that, but you can just basically take your scanner, wherever mine is. Mine's here on the floor. You can take your scanner. So if you have product that's coming in, you can scan that product, and then you can put in a number. You put in, like, you got 50 of these. You can put 50 in and then scan them, and it'll automatically put them into your inventory for you. So as long as they're in the inventory. If you're getting a brand new product that's totally different, you know, like something else, and you try scanning it, it's not going to work. It's going to be like, what? No, we don't recognize this product. The product doesn't work. You guys are crazy. That's what it's going to say. You guys are crazy. We do have the date, the quantity in, and a code bot. Now I can't stress enough. I have to admit that it does, and I so apologize for it, but you guys will see a huge amount of security that's put into this program, and it's just normal. You just want to make sure that you don't have an issue, and so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and exit our layout, and if we enter, if we go, let's look at the script first for register 1, because we're going to center our attention on register 1 in the admin area, right? So the script for register 1 is, click on the dang thing. I called it register 1 login, and then there's a register 2 login, so it's just a repeat of that. Let's take a quick tour of the script. Now the whole script in and of itself doesn't quite have to be the same way, but we do have an error box, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep people from breaking into our system, right? It was something that came up, so you're going to see a lot of security just in this script alone. So it says if is empty, the security box, and that is this box right here, the passcode, right, that you put your information in. So if the security box is empty, it's going to show you a message, and the message is going to be, sorry, you don't qualify, you can't be here, and it's going to halt the script. And that is if you just press the register 1 button. However, then what it's going to do is it's going to check to see, it says menu error box. So if the menu error box is greater than or equal to 3, and that's this little error box right down here in the bottom that you guys can see. The little error box, see it right there? So if the error box is greater than or equal to 3, it's going to set the field to blank, and then it's going to go to the security breach vault. So it's going to send you to a different location. And what it's doing, this is what it's doing, is it's what you're trying to capture that person. If someone is just entering codes randomly and they're pushing the button, and they're entering codes randomly and pushing the button, this stops them from doing it. So it captures them, grabs them. Okay, so it's going to take them to the security breach vault. Well, in the security breach vault, they cannot escape. The only thing in there is a window, and they have to like put the right number in, and if they don't, it does nothing. They just stay there. They can't get away from that window. And then it will halt the script. But if those two things are not, if we just skip over those two things, right, we're going to set the variable, and the variable is going to be what's in this security box. What's in the security box? Did you put a number in there? Did you put your passcode in there? That's what we're looking for. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the invoice value. And the value is menu, invoice menu 1. Invoice menu 1. Remember I told you that we changed those? Well, we changed them because we were having an issue with the numbers being changed from time to time. Like if you went back or you did something or something happened, I don't know, I was using the system and it was messing it up. And I was like, I gotta keep these numbers safe and secure. So I just said, all right, invoice menu 1, I'll just create them so that we have the invoice lock 1, 2, and 3, and we have the invoice number 1, 2, and 3, and the invoice menu 1, 2, and 3. So we're positive, we've triple checked, we've kept everything right where we want it to be. So it's going to go ahead and set that variable as that number. Then it's going to clear out. It's going to clear out that security box. So the next person isn't left with your number, right? Freeze the window, go to the layout, user info, user database. That's a big thing because that's where all of your people are that are authorized to use the system. That's where your authorization comes from. Now you can skip all the security if you want to, and you can just be like, it's just me and, you know, my wife or my kids, or it's just, you know, I'm never going to hire an employee, but you might. And if you do have employees, you need to make sure that you're protecting your system. And I would do it, even if it was just me, I would do it so a customer doesn't accidentally get into my system, or someone else can't accidentally get into my system and mess with it. Either through Wi-Fi or whatever the case is, right? Keep it safe and secure. That's my philosophy. Keep it safe and secure. Keep your data, and keep it safe and secure. USA Refurb, how are you? Today we're just kind of doing a quick walkthrough. We've just gotten to our first script. And so after that, we're going to freeze the window, and then we're going to go to the layout user database. We're going to enter find mode. It's like an automatic thing. We're going to enter the find mode, and we're going to look for that password. So whatever number someone put into that security box, as you guys saw, whatever number someone put, I'm trying to stay out of the way so you guys can see it. So whatever number someone put into here, that's the number, that's the passcode. And it's going to, where is it? What did I do? I moved it so I can't find it. So we're going to enter the find mode, and we're going to set that password, that code in there. And now we're gonna find it, right? We're gonna look for it, but we're gonna set the error capture on, because if it's wrong, if it's a different number, it's not supposed to be there, then we're gonna say, okay, we don't want to stop the script just because it was wrong, so we'll perform the find. And then if the results of that find, if in the results of that find we didn't find anything, the number didn't match any of the current numbers that we have on file, we're going to go back to the original layout. We're going to come back to this entry page. We're going to show a custom dialog, passcode error 6016, whatever. And we're going to tell them either your passcode, your PIN is either invalid or it was missing some data. You know, I like to kind of scare them a little bit. And then we're going to set the field, the error box +1. Why? Because if somebody just puts random numbers in there and they put in 1111, 1112, 1113, blah, 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 and because they're just going through random numbers, they're looking for your number, they get to 3 of those and they're in trouble, right? So at that point, we're going to come back, we're going to set that number, and we're going to, and what it is it's error box +1. Pretty simple to do. Halt the script. But if it actually does have data, if it's like, oh yeah, okay, I know this person, this number makes sense, we have data there, it's going to set the variable, and that variable is going to be the code. We named it code, and it's going to be that password. It's going to be that this number actually is what it's going to be. So we're kind of duplicating our variable, but no big deal. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set name. And what we did with the name, and if you guys go back just 2 seconds ago, we had that case where we set the first name and then the second name, and we added them together. Exactly the same thing we did here. We did the first name and a space and the last name. So we're creating a full name out of that. And then we're going to go to the layout, the one that we wanted to go to start with. Oh my goodness, are we finally getting to there? Oh my goodness, we finally made it, right? Okay, so we did. Now we're going to go to register 1. And in register 1, we're going to, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, how can I explain it? Is this file something that's already been used? So are we on an old file? Are we on an old record? And that's why it says if it is empty, the subtotal button. And that's, you could pick any one you want to, but I like the subtotal because the subtotal populates if there's any information at all on that invoice, that subtotal is populated. There's something there. So I use the subtotal. But if the subtotal is empty, if there's no reason, if there's nothing there, then it's basically a new record. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set our field, register username, and then the variable, which was our name. And then we're also going to set the field register user pass as that passcode, the $ code. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the field register scanner data so that when we go there, it's ready for us to use a scanner. We don't have to touch anything. We go there, we put in our number, we press register 1, it takes us to the register, and we can start scanning product right now. Ta-da! End script. Halt script. That's what that says. Halt script. But if it's not, and we don't have to add the extra if here, we can just leave it because we've halted the script. If it's empty, we've halted the script. But if it's not empty, well, you don't have to say that. In this particular case, you don't have to say if not is empty. You can just continue with more script because it's at the end, right? But so if it's not empty, if this didn't work, it's going to jump right over it, tink, and it's going to end up on enter find mode. And it's going to set the field register invoice number invoice. So it's going to take that number that we had here. Remember when we collected this in the upper part of the script, this invoice menu number? It's going to take that number as a variable we have in our hand, and it's going to set it into the register invoice number, perform the find, and it's looking for that record because it knows. It's like, if you're not on, like, if you've ever used FileMaker and you've gone like to a register, or you've gone to a specific file and you create new files, it does, you know, or you can tell the funniest thing in the world is I see people tell me all the time, just use, and I'm even type it in, just type in go to record request page first or last or by calculation or next. Guess what? That does not work. It doesn't work all the time. If you create a brand new record, if you haven't created the brand new record, it will go to the last record or it'll go to the first record, and then you have to recreate a whole nother record, and you've got a bunch of blank records that don't work. And in this case, you want to keep all your numbers together. So you can have invoice number 24, invoice number 25, invoice number 26, invoice number 27, invoice number 29, invoice 31, invoice 20. You know, keep those numbers together. Don't get them all over the place. Keep them together. We want to make sure that they're all in series of each other, so we know what we're tracking, and we don't want to. Why throw away invoices? You know what I'm saying? Why throw them away? So let's keep them all together. And that's the purpose of this. So that's the reason why we don't use the go-to record. Just delete that sucker right now. We don't use that in this case. We'll perform the find. We're going to set, and then once we find that record, we're good. We don't have to do anything after that. What we have to do is we have to set our username and our user passcode and go to the scanner data field, right? Halt, and then halt the script. So we'll go ahead, we'll call that okay, And now what we're going to do is we're going to use it. We're going to show you how it works. So we're going to go in, type in our number, and hit the button, register 1. And notice, we're in 25, right? Record number 25. Register 1. I guarantee you, if you wrote that script exactly the way I did, I guarantee you, you will be on number 25. Guarantee it. That's where you're going to be. You're going to be on record 25. The problem that I was having with the deal was, if you push this button and you see it says number 25 and then my name, the problem that I was having is that if I went back to close out a, like if I was in the invoice and I had a held, you guys know what those are, right? If I had a held one and I went back to there and I added some of that stuff in, because someone was like, oh wait, you know, I want this product, and you didn't have a SKU for it, and so you had to go and you know, do that. Well, what it does is when you push this button, it will take this number and it'll apply it to that, and that number, believe it or not, happens to be the exact same number that's on your entry page. So it was messing with me. It would just be like, no, I lost like 10 whole ones on register 3 because it was like I just was losing those numbers. It was like crazy. But since I've changed it and made that change, I haven't lost a single number. And so if you guys need to know about the cash, the credit, and the split pay, those scripts, just let me know. I will send them to you, or I will show you them. Better yet, I will show them to you. Or we did just go over the execute button, so we don't have to worry about that. And the new exit button, I think we've already seen what the exit button does, and it's just exit invoice 1. It's a pretty simple script. You're basically just saying if you don't already have an outstanding, and I think I changed this. I did change it because I needed to change it. But so if there is something in your subtotal box, then it's going to say, nope, you have to close the invoice. You have to close your open invoices first. But then we halt the script. And then the next one was if there's something in your register hold 1. So if there's something in there, it's also going to kick you back and say, nope, you can't leave until you close out that held invoice. And then if there's something in register 2, or if there is the hold 2, if you've got anything held, it'll kick you back every time. But if all of that stuff is untrue, if everything is clear and everything is good to go, you're on a brand new record, what you can do is, and I got to watch my thing there, you can do is you'll set the invoice, set the variable, the invoice number. That's the big thing. So you're on a fresh, brand new invoice. You're going to set that number. We're going to set the field username. We're going to clear it out. We're going to clear out our scanner data if there's anything in there. We're going to go to our entry page. We're going to go back to the entry page. We're going to set the field username blank, and you don't have to do that because there's nothing on that page, but we're just going to set it blank anyway, just to make sure. And then in this sense, we have the invoice menu 1. So we're going to set that field to our invoice number, the one that we just captured. We're going to show that custom dialog saying, please make sure that you clock out for the day and have a good day, and then halt the script. So we did all of that. So if we are here, everything is clean, we can exit and go out. And see, it says, please be sure to log out. Okay, we can do that. But one of the things I did want to show you is what was the deal with getting to the admin? Because so many people said, how in the heck do you do that? Well, there's a lot of safety built into this button. And the admin access, we won't go through it, but here it is. And as you can see, there's some if statements here, some if statements here, some if statements here. This one is telling you that if it's at 2, if it says, if it is at 2, if there's a couple of mistakes made, it's going to show you a message that basically says, look, just want you to know that you need to clean out the system. It's going to show custom dialog, say, you need to clean that system out. Get rid of the errors. And then we're going to go, then it's going to go to our user security breach wall. Okay. Then it's going to go to our, once we freeze the window, go to layout, user info database. That is the biggest ticket item you will ever build and or design on your system when it comes to security. User info box. And that's the thing, is when you build a user info database, you want to keep it totally secure so people can't mess with the data that's in there. And so what happens is when we go there, so if we type in our code, we can go to the admin. It will automatically send me to the admin. As you can see, it says right there, admin, over there, way over there, admin. And if we go into our passcodes, that's our user data. And you can name it user data. I named it passcode. I probably should have named it user data. As a matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, I will name it user data. User data. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go there. And you can see what it's going to do is it's going to take me straight there. And you guys will see these blue numbers over here. Just those are time card things. What this is it says, okay, so here's an individual, and she's going to do, her destination window is the inventory modifier. So if what she's going to do is basically, if she logs on, it'll instantly take her to the inventory modifier. And is she an admin? Does she have access? Yes. And then these are time records. So if you click on the record, it will take you to the record. If you go back, it'll take you back to here, not back to where you came from, but back to here. So you have to go back into user data. So you can only view a couple of those, but you can change that field so that if you go in to, let's say, this one, and you find the total hours, 52 minutes. You have to kind of click on the thing to spark it, but so I worked 52 minutes during that pay period, which ended 12/22/2017, whatever. But this back button, it just takes you back to your thing. It puts your number up here, puts your information up here. Every time you go there, I should probably have it to where it goes back, and I'll probably change that. It's a pretty simple thing. If you edit the layout and you look at the script, what it says is if it's empty, and this is a big thing. So if our CodeBot is empty, which the CodeBot happens to be right here, as you can see, the CodeBot. So if it's empty, it's going to take you right to the security box, right to the security vault. You're not going to, do not pass go. You're just done, right? But then it's going to set a variable, and that variable is going to be this CodeBot, and then it's going to go back to the layout, the admin window, and all you have to do in this particular case is just change this. So we don't want it to be admin window admin. We want this to be user info or user data. And then we're going to set a field, and that field is going to be the user data. What am I looking for? User data. The user database, and it's going to be, I believe it is the user pass. I believe it is the user pass. I don't know. Let's find out. But we have to say okay. Close this out. Exit. And go back. And it is the user pass, but it's not the user pass because it basically took us to a different file where we can't see anything except for these numbers. If we go to admin, it now takes me, see how what happens when you mess with something? It takes me to the security, this is the security vault. So this is where you are stuck, right? You can't do anything. And you could put any word because the scripting on this is very specific for that word. So you could put in any word. If you want to put in a 16-digit letter or number that you have memorized, put it in there. It'll be impossible for them to escape this window at that point. But this will allow me to escape. And I can go back into my register, or my admin, I'm sorry, and back into my user data. And there it is. Back to normal, what it's supposed to be, because there's so many ifs, ands, or buts in this particular situation. So these particular cases, what I should do, I think maybe the best thing for me to do is open these in another window. I can open them in a separate window. But right now I just have them, it literally is going to that particular file, which is fine. But we will go back and we will change that, that particular script. But the cool thing about this is what you're doing is you're saying, here is a number that I'm going to give you, and that number is 1115, whatever. I'm going to give you the number. This is your name, your destination window. You don't have to have a destination window at all. If you don't want to have a destination window, if you want this person to be 100% register 1, fine, let's do 100%. This person is going to go to the destination register 1. And how you, this destination, all you're doing is, I'll show you. You edit the layout, you go here, and you say invoicing. See how it says register 1? You have to type that exactly like it is. Register space 1. See? So if you wanted this person, this 1115, and you wanted them to go specifically to register 1, you type in register space 1, and it's got to be exact, register 1. And then this security link, what the security link is, and I call it the port link or whatever. So this port link over here, what this is what is the field that you need to go to so that you can put your passcode into, right? And unfortunately, you have to be there in that field to put this data in. So as an administrator, we can edit the layout. We can go to our register 1. And the field that we're looking for is going to be the username, right? So if we click on the username, we can actually come in, highlight the username. Did you see what I just did? I went into my inspector, I clicked on the box that I wanted, and then I grabbed it. I clicked at the end, and then I used the left click and held the button down, and I drew across that. So register, username, I've got it. So Control C is what I'm going to do. Control C. And then just click anywhere. Close this. And we're going to go back to our page that we were on and edit that layout. And here, for this person going to register 1, all we got to do is get rid of the data that's there and then Control V. Now it will take me to that page every time I push in that number. So, and you guys are watching it. You guys are watching it live stream right now. So 1115, right? Edit the layout or exit the layout. Go back to our admin, exit the stream, and if I type in 1115 and I touch this admin button, because you have to hit an admin button or you have to hit a button. Right now, if I push register 1, it'll let me go to register 1 because I'm a person. It knows who I am. It's found me. It knows me. But if I press admin, it will take me to register 1 because that's my register 1. See? Invoice solution, register 1. This is register 1. But it didn't, what it did was it put my name in here and took me to the right one, but it didn't it didn't go to this, it didn't light up the scanner data, so I would actually have to do that myself. But no big deal, so I'll exit. But if I type in 1115 and I try to go to register 1, it'll take me there, and this time it'll light up my button, see? But let's say I put in the wrong number. 1116, and I'd hit register 1. Now it's telling me, I'm sorry, we don't know who you are. And we'll say okay. And notice, if you didn't notice, all of a sudden, instantaneously, this button, this little area right here, there's now a 1 there. And now I'm like, what if it was 4581 or 4582? And I click on there. No, it's also not the right number. And now my number went to 2. Went to 2. Uh-oh. Well, now, as an administrator, I type in, because I'm not paying attention, and I type in 1911, I go to my admin button. It's going to tell me. It says, hey, somebody's been messing with your system. There's 2 errors already on the system. Can you clean those up for me? Sure, I can. So I need to clear the errors. And all I have to do is come over here and push clear errors. It will clear the errors for me. Or should have cleared the errors. Did it not work? Passcode must be entered before clear errors. I did add the passcode, 1911. Clear errors. All previous error codes have been cleared. Well, it's obviously not clearing that button, is it? So what did we do wrong? Let's find out. Double click on that, set the error clearer. So, and look at the length of this script for that. If we go, so if it's saying if our security box is empty, blah, 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 halt script. Okay, well, set the variable, the menu security box, set variable. So it's going to go to the security box. It's going to clear out the security box. It's going to grab that number, then it's going to clear it out, then it's going to freeze the window, go to user info data, enter find mode, look for your passcode, and if it finds out who you are, it's going to, okay, yeah, if it finds out who you are, it's going to, is empty user data passwords. If not is empty user data passwords, go to original layout, show custom dialog. Codes are cleared. All previous errors are cleared. Well, isn't that funny? Because we're missing something, aren't we? We're missing set field. So in this particular instance, we have to set the field, and the field is going to be error codes, error box, and the calculated result will be quotation marks. So if we have data not as empty, we're going to clear that out. And then we'll halt the script. But if it's not, we'll go to the original layout. We'll say, too bad, so sad, you can't do it. You have to do something. And it's going to set the error +1. And if that equals 3 or above, it's going to send you to the security breach vault. Boy, that's not very nice, is it? So now if we exit the layout, we push in our code 1911, and we go to our admin. Now it should work. It's going to say, this is just giving you a friendly warning. Ta-da, friendly warning. And here you clear the errors. Now it will say all of them are cleared, and it will actually clear them. But now we have to add our number back in. Well, if that's too much for you to do, you can always not clear that field if you want to. But now when we go to admin, we go straight to admin, straight to user data. We have all the information that we need at our fingertips. And you can see our number is there. Now we can change that number at any given time. So even though I was doing 1115, what happens if I do 1114? I just changed my number. I just changed it. You guys just watch me do it, right? Go back to admin, exit, 1115. Register 1. Nope, doesn't work anymore. Passcode data is not confirmed. 1114. Bam, I'm there. So see, that's how quick you can do your passcodes and how quick you can make things happen. So we'll stop messing around with that because I'm tired of messing around with that. And the basic part of this was to kind of show you how all this system works and to give you a quick walkthrough. So the scripts that we had to see was go to register 1. We did want to see the scripts for the time cards. But I do want to talk about the basic aspect of just having a condensed. Let's see, how long have I been on? 45 minutes. Wow. The basics of just having a condensed system. You don't need anything other than your register 1. If that's all you want to do is do a register 1, but you have to have an inventory. You have to have an inventory. Now if I click on this one, and I think it was, and I go here, it'll take me to this inventory modifier. Do you guys remember those numbers? So it'll take me to an inventory modifier. It just took me to whatever record was there. And if I exit, it'll take me back. But I think, let's see. I wanted to show you guys something really quick. I think it's inventory or scan in. So this is the page I was telling you guys about earlier. So if you get to this inventory scanner page, you can physically, I could put 10 in. It could be like 10, whatever. I don't want to do it because my system is actually up and running. So I don't want to actually like do it, you know, make changes to it. But you can put any number you want to in here. So if you got product in, you could put, you know, 100 of something. You could press in your 100. You could scan this, and then the second, you have to put the number in first, and then scan it. And then it will automatically trigger a script. As you can see it's right there. It says set script triggers, scanner input, select. And if we look at this and we edit this script, there it is. So it's going to pause for that second. It's going to grab the information from the security box or the code bot. It's going to set values. Then it's going to, and you can see the security, the level of security in every single script. Every single script has a level of security to protect you so that somebody doesn't just accidentally do something, right? We're going to set the variables. If this is empty, the quantity in button, we're going to assume the value is 1. But if it's not empty, we're going to put that value in so that if you're just scanning, if you just want to scan individual ones, you can just scan them. And if there's 100 of them, you can just keep scanning them and it'll just add 100 of them to your system. Or you can take a shortcut. You got a big box. You know I've got 100 of them in that box. 100, scan one. They're all in there at the same time. Save you a huge amount of time and energy, right? Set those variables. We're going to take all that information. And one thing I wanted to push heavily. I don't know if I'm going to stress this enough. But manage, let's see. I want to exit this really quick because I want to get rid of this number. Delete. I want to manage my database. I want you guys to realize, look at what you see. The inventory sales, the incoming inventory, records, the database, none of these are related. None of them have relationships with any other field. The only time I ever use a relationship between fields is when it becomes absolutely necessary. I have seen scripts, and I'm going to be honest with you, I have seen people build these things, and they've got this spider web of things. Then they've got one in the middle, and everything is linked to that middle one. It's like a big bursting sun, right? One in the middle and a bunch of ones on the outside, and they're all connected somehow. Please do not do that. Please do not do that. The reason why is because even though you don't have it where you say, okay, yeah, you can make a change, or okay, no, you can't make a change, or whatever the case might be, it will change records. It will accidentally change records. So why even take the chance? I guarantee you it will change records. The best thing you can do is leave it alone. Do not build relationships with your files unless you absolutely have to. In my case, in these particular files that I did, they're all part of, you have those portal rows. You have those portals that are built right into your system, right? So in this case, exit the layout. We're going to exit. I think I can go back to admin. I can. In this case, all of my things are go to. So go to, go to, go to. It takes information from one, grabs hold of it, takes it, and puts it somewhere else. And then if I need that information, I know where it is because I've logged it. It's got a number, it's got a value, it's got a date and a time and all that other stuff. So that's the reason why when you're in this one, 1911, and you go into your user database, that I can click on this and it will take me to this record instantaneously. So I can go to this record. Of course, if I go back, then I'm kind of messed up, right? So we did need to make that change back to what it was before. And what it was before was go to layout. I think this was just go to the layout of the admin is where we were, admin window. And we're going to set the field in the admin window. Security link. And I think what it was is I just had the wrong, I think I had the wrong box. I will fix that though, because I think my problem was, and I'll just say, okay. I think my problem was that in this, and it doesn't hurt me to do this, but I think that this box that I'm telling it to put information in, user pass, this is a dual secure place. I want you to understand that it's dual secure. So you see this little black box right here, and you see this little pass code thingy over here. So let's exit the layout. Let's go back into our thing, and let's go into. Did we touch on the user data script? Let's touch on that user data script. And I'm hoping that you guys. I can't give you guys everything. It would take me a month to show you every single script I've ever written, but I do want to show you the scripts I have written, and so that hopefully you can grow and build yours from the script, right? So the add data pass is very simple, but it's extremely complex. How this works is, if it's empty, so if your security link, if this little box down here that has your name in it, if that security link is empty, if somebody just happened to end up on your page, it's going to take you, bam, straight to the security vault. You're locked in there, you can't get out. I'm sorry, you pushed any button that wasn't the exit button, you're in trouble, right? Bam, take you there. And now as an admin, you're going to go back and you're going to be like, I know for a fact you were there, right? Then we're going to halt the script. Now, but if there is something in the security link, it's going to grab a hold of it. It's going to look, then it's going to, once it has a hold of it, it's going to clean off the old one. It's going to go to the layout user database, show all records. Go to record request page first. That's the only time I will use these, because these are a pain in the butt. User record first, that changes all the time. User record last, that changes all the time. It never ends up on the right one. You try using by calculation, forget it. Doesn't work. There's so many weird things with FileMaker, just don't even bother. But in this case, record request first. I'm trying to get to the very top record, that very top one. The very top one. Okay? So we go to that first record. Then we're going to set the field user data, the user database user pass. That's me. It's going to set my name in there. But in this field, what I did, the cool thing about this one was what I did was I made sure that the topmost one was empty at all times. And I'm adding fields below it. So my records are going the opposite direction, right? So I'm adding, every time I add a new record, I'm adding those records on the bottom. Now, if you think that you're going to have 25 employees, just create 25 records. And then don't create any more records. And it'll always, your script will always end up on that top one. That's what you want, is always end up on that top one. But for something like invoices, you can't do that. Because your invoices are constantly evolving, right? So you're going to go to that very first record. You're going to set the field, my name. And then we're going to initiate a loop. And in that loop, we're going to set the user database pass. We're going to set that base pass to a number. I just picked 15. Just pick 15. Go to the next record and do the same thing again. We're going to set that pass at 15, at 15, at 15. So we're going to set them all at 15. End the loop, halt the script. What this does, and this is the secret part of it. So don't tell anybody this secret part of it, right? Don't tell anybody. But what this does is it allows me to secure data. So in this sense, I can say hide record if access is not equal to 15. So in this one I can say do not show this record, or do not show this record. And I think that's what I did actually, was if you go into your inspector and you click on this window, first name, last name, let's do passwords. It'll say is empty user database pass. So this one says if it's empty, if the user database pass, which is that, remember the pass is where I put the 15? If it's empty, then don't show the data. Hide it, hide it, hide it. Now you could have if user data pass is not equal to 15. That's fine. But because the user data pass, and this is it, user database, no, access. Where is pass? There is pass. Pass. Pass is all the way up here. So if user data pass is empty, but here it is. It's not available in browse mode. Not available in browse mode, so nobody can touch it unless you're an admin. So nobody can touch this, and basically what it's saying is don't show any of these if there's nothing in this field. And that's one of the things that we just had an issue with. Was remember when we went to, and I'm going to exit this layout. Remember when we went to this field, we looked at this record, and then we changed this script so that we could end up back there? And remember when we didn't see anything? All this information was gone except for these. The reason why that happened was because there was nothing in this user pass window. There was nothing in the pass window. It put my name back here, but it didn't put anything in this pass window. So it's dual certification, dual encryption, dual issue. So with that, I'm going to end my stream because we have already gone to almost an hour, and I didn't want to go an hour. We'll go into exit, but hopefully I've given you guys just a quick tour, just a really quick walkthrough of the register and all of that data and how that data works, where we're setting our fields at. I don't know why it says 1 here, but let's just clear it out really quick. Okay. So, and I made it yellow just so it would stand out and I'd be like, oh, I can see that. But I just wanted you guys to be able to have the access to kind of figure out where that stuff was at. I know that I've talked to some people and they said they're having issues getting fields that are populating. And it's all about the script. It's all about where you're putting the data in your script and what you're telling that script to do. So you guys have seen them. Pause the video when you get to those and write them exactly as you see them. and it'll work exactly the same as mine does. Mine works beautifully. 1911. Take me straight to register one. Put my name in. I'm at register, or I'm on number 25. I can create a sale. Couple of dollars twice actually. Cash out that sale. And I've now gone to number 26. As you can see, I'll exit, and it will take my number to 26. Simple, easy, painless. Wonderful. I hope it works for you. I hope it is working for you. If you guys have any problems at all, let me know. This is not part of the series. This is not part of, so it's not episode 15. It's not that. We've already done that. What this is just basically a quick walkthrough, the basic, simple, easy, painless. Hopefully we touched on the scripts that you're missing. If you're missing any other scripts, let me know. I'll get them to you as best I possibly can. But until the next time, guys, thanks a lot. Be good to each other, and don't do anything I would. See you guys in the next video. We should have another one probably Saturday, Sunday. I should have another video Saturday, Sunday. And on that video, I think we will, oh, I don't know. We'll just make it a surprise, but we're going to do something really cool. So don't forget, be here for that video. We'll see you guys later. Bye.